Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. Today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about important things to consider when launching your online coffee brand. And this is a sister episode to the previous podcast where we were talking about the 3 steps that are necessary to stop your ideas from inaction. So this is kind of sort of an extension of that, but can also operate as an independent episode too. So today we're going to talk about 6 things that you need to think about when considering launching an online store. And the first of that is, which ties into the last episode, yesterday's episode, what are you selling? What is your unique selling proposition? What is it that you're looking to launch? So that thing that we talked about in the last episode of write it down, understand that. Understand it very clearly. So you're launching an online store or an online brand that's in coffee. Exactly what is it? Is it roasted coffee? Is it coffee brewing equipment? Get clear on what it is that you're selling and what your unique selling proposition is. So what sets you aside from the saturated market, whether that be locally, nationally, or globally. Number 2, what is going to be your customer experience on your online store? And how are you going to communicate that? So is it just simply, I'm going to have a store on my website and that's it? So I sell my coffee and people can go to my store and they can have that experience. Or do you want to extend that experience out so that you can communicate via video with people on your YouTube channel that's connected in through your website? Do you want to offer your customers the opportunity to communicate with you via a text message that you automatically send out through different plugins that you can have on your website? Do you want your customers to experience the opportunity to leave you a review? And how will you do that? There are many, many ways that you can communicate and invite your customers to communicate with you through your online store. And having an understanding of how you want your customers to experience your online brand and communicate with you and be communicated to is an important part of what you should be considering when before setting up your online presence. Number 3, the terms of service, which include shipping, refunds, your COVID practices, all of the terms of service that are involved in setting up the way that your customer will experience your brand are very important, and they're things to consider before you launch your store. So what is your refund policy? What is your shipping policy? Will you ship the same day that people place an order, or will you ship within 5 business days? What is the strategy that your customers could use if they receive a product that they're unhappy with? What happens if USPS or whatever local postal service or Amazon ships the product and it never arrives to your customer? What happens if it gets marked as delivered and your customer contacts you and tells you that they never received the product, even though it says that Amazon delivered it? These are things that we experience in the Elixir Specialty Coffee online store, and it would surprise you how helpful it is to have a shipping terms of service already established for your customers to read before they purchase a product. And you can check out the Elixir Specialty Coffee website to get an understanding of how I implement everything that I'm talking to you about in my own bottled beverage business. So number 4, what are going to be your sales terminals or your sales portals? You might think it's just about having a website, but I want you to consider that there are other sales portals that may be much more effective for you. Sales portals like your Instagram store or your Facebook store, sales portals like, and I know this may sound crazy, but Etsy, if you are having a coffee t-shirt brand, whatever it is, consider and research all the different sales portals that are available to you through online portals and how you will integrate them with each other. Number 5, what will be your cost breakdown analysis for everything that you're choosing to sell? So you've written down, as we said in the last episode, what your products or what it is that you are going to be doing, and you have understood the strategy that is going to give you the best chance at success. A part of achieving that success is making sure that before you launch, whatever it is you're going to sell is going to be a financially viable model. And you can't get there without having done a cost breakdown analysis so that you understand the difference between your operating expenses, your fixed costs, and your cost of goods. And an online store should be viewed the same way as a brick and mortar store. The rent is just much cheaper. A Squarespace online store may cost you $40 a month. That and the associated plugin costs, as well as your website hosting, excuse me, and your URL, that's your rent. Consider that as one of the fixed costs of running your online store. Then you have other costs associated with that, the same as you would if you had a brick and mortar store. You have marketing costs, you have wages, you have insurance costs, you have all of the fixed costs plus the cost of goods. So the costs to buy or make the product that you're going to be selling. Understanding your cost breakdown analysis. And we do have a recent episode, which I will link to just up here, which talks to you about how to do a cost breakdown analysis of all of your products. So the final one, number 6, how and who will build all of these things that you want to create. So you've got the ideas, you've done your cost breakdown analysis, you know exactly what it is that your business is going to be. How are you now going to turn all of that into a reality? So who's going to build your site? What's it going to look like? Do you need more than one different person involved? Do you need someone to take your photos, or can you get your photos from Canva? Do you need someone to come up with your logo, or do you already have your logo? Is the same person who's going to be building your website responsible for the photos? Are they responsible for your social media integration? Who's going to be setting up your social media? How are you going to ensure continuity? Who's going to be determining all of that for you? This is the kind of stuff that we talk about at length in our mastermind groups. If you've decided to take on the responsibility of building it all yourself. And this is something that is much more accessible to you these days with things like Squarespace and Shopify. I have both of my businesses are on different platforms. So for Elixir Specialty Coffee, we're set up on Shopify, and for Map It Forward, we're set up on Squarespace. There are pros and cons to both of them, and there are reasons why I choose to build the Map It Forward platform on Squarespace and Elixir Specialty Coffee on Shopify. Understanding the reasoning behind all of it is really important, and it's what we talk at length about in the group coaching, if that's something that is attractive to you. I hope this has been really helpful. This is one of my favorite things to help people unpack when it comes to building their business, because this is where a lot of the creative juices come into building a business and where you get to put your own little flavor on it. I hope this has been helpful, friends. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day.